Hi dear students, today we are going to discuss section 3 in unit 2. That's a beautiful poem written by the great Indian English poet Rabindranath Tagore, and the poem is The Banyan Tree. Let's go with the poem now. Here in the beginning of the poem, the poet is asking the big banyan tree whether it remembers that little child which spent a lot of time just near the pond and near the shadow of the big banyan tree. The poet here says that the boy was there once, like the birds who are coming to the branches of the tree and keep their nest till they are getting the new babies, and when they are grown up the birds will leave the tree. The same way, once when the child was grown up and lost his interest in the beauty of nature, he also left the banyan tree and did not come back anymore. That's what the poet says. Now the poet continues asking whether the big banyan tree remembers the child who looked at the deep roots which were in a zigzag position or in tangle and which were going underground. The child was looking at all these things very curiously. Now the poet is asking whether the big banyan tree remembers all those things. In the next part, the poet is again saying about some other beautiful memories which were seen there during that time. It was about the woman who were coming to fetch water from the pond near the big banyan tree, and then the big shade which was covering almost half of the big pond, and then the beautiful birds which were playing inside the water, the ducks were swimming inside the water, and all these things, and the beautiful sun rays coming into the water and reflecting outside. All these beautiful sights, the poet was trying to make the big banyan tree remember all these things. Then was asking whether he remembered all those situations. Then the poet again comes to another level here. Till here the poet was just saying about the beauty of the nature and the people who were enjoying the beauty of the nature. But when it comes to the last part of the poem, we can see that there is a slight difference in the views of the poet. Let's go with that right now. Now here the poet is saying that the child was having that deep interest to change himself into many other things in the world. First of all, he wanted to become the wind and blow through the deep branches of the tree, the big banyan tree, and he wanted to become the shadow and go himself longer and longer. When it goes into the evening or when it comes into the morning, the shadow will be very long. Like that, he also wanted to become a long shadow, and then he wanted to become a bird and perch on the top of the tree, and then he wanted to float like the ducks which were floating in the shadow of the big banyan tree, which means the last part of the poem is clearly coming just along with the wish of the child to explore the nature and to become a part of the nature really. Hope you understood the poem well. It's time for me to wind up. Thank you. Have a nice day.